Former President Trump declined to take a position on a potential federal abortion ban Monday and said the fate of the procedure should be left to individual states. Trump, in a roughly 4 minute video posted to Truth Social, once again said he was proud to have ended Roe v. Wade through the appointment of conservative Supreme Court justices, but he did not endorse any kind of federal abortion legislation, which some conservative groups have pushed him to do. My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, Trump said. The states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others. And that's what they will be, he added. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart, or in many cases, your religion or your faith. The former president's statement was his most comprehensive to date on the divisive issue of abortion since he became the presumptive Republican nominee, but it was still evasive on the issue of whether he would, as president, sign a federal law limiting abortion after a certain number of weeks. In his statement, Trump referenced the importance of winning elections for Republicans. He had previously blamed the GOP's rhetoric on abortion for the party's struggles in the 2022 midterm. We have to bring our nation back from the brink, and that's where it is, he added. Always go by your heart, but we must win. We have to win. Trump reiterated his support for exceptions, allowing for the procedure in case of uh, certain R word and incest and when the life of the mother is at risk. And he said the GOP should support procedures such as vitro fertilization, which has been threatened following the end of Roe v. Wade, that makes it easier for Americans to start a family. And he called Democrats radical for supporting abortion up and even beyond the ninth month. President Biden has said he does not support abortion on demand, but has pushed to restore the protections of Roe v. Wade. Democrats and Biden campaign officials argued Trump's statement was both embracing the end of Roe and siding with states that have imposed severe limits on abortion. Donald Trump is endorsing every single abortion ban in the states, making abortion bans with no exceptions, and he's bragging about his role in creating the hellscape. Biden campaign spokesperson Amar Mazza said in a response to Trump's video statement Monday. At the same time, Trump's statement drew criticism from prominent anti-abortion activists who argued his position allows Democrats to set the terms of national debate over the issue. We are deeply disappointed in President Trump's decision. Unborn children and their mothers deserve national protections and national advocacy from the brutality of the abortion industry. The Dobbs decision clearly allows both states and Congress to act. Marjorie Denenfelser, head of Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America, said in the statement. This goes on for a little bit more, but what I am most interested in is that, like, this is something I've said before. Trump is not. He's someone who, we talked before, governed like any old regular conservative president, but at his core, he has some pragmatism, some moderation, and I'm inclined to believe he probably did not think his Supreme Court justices were going to overturn Roe v. Wade. That's what I believe, because you look at his statements, like what he says about this topic, and you don't see someone who's like, we will make sure that no one can ever have an abortion. No, he takes a really cowardly position where he says, "I'll just leave it up to the states." Um, and my thing with state laws is that I have always believed there is something like abortion doesn't affect me one iota. I don't that we've just I've said that before, but I've always thought there was something screwed up that a person who is like apolitical, doesn't really care about politics or state legislators, whatever. Some woman, maybe has some one night stand with some guy, or maybe had a boyfriend that left her, and she decides, hey, I want to get rid of this uh, pregnancy after 2 months, 3 months, and because she lives in Mississippi or Missouri, she can't make that decision that a woman who lives in California or New York can. And I do think there's something screwed up about that. That where you are in the U.S. determines if you have certain rights to do things with your own damn body. Now, to get over to some more interesting stuff that was posted here, because it's it's always fascinating when you see the other side taking pot shots at their own person. Um, so you have the Biden person, the Biden campaign person. He says, oh, he's bragging about his role in creating this hellscape. Um, well, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth because he's celebrating Roe v. Wade being overturned, which is something that you would think is going to then lead him to say, hey, look, I want a national abortion ban. But he's not then saying that. He's saying, oh, leave it up to the states, which means you're happy that the federal law that guaranteed the right to an abortion was overturned, but you're not going to go further and try to just get rid of it altogether with either a new law that bans it nationwide or some type of other measure to get it from just being a thing that's legal in the U.S. at all, which is what a lot of the pro-life people support. So that already is funny, but when you get over to this person that runs the Susan B. Anthony group, we are deeply disappointed in his position. Unborn children and their mothers deserve national protection and national advocacy from the brutality. It's like, well, you're not going to get that with Trump. Trump doesn't really care about abortion. His main signature issue has always been immigration. When it comes to after that, the economy would be the next thing. I think abortion probably matters less to him than something like foreign policy, because even with that, he still could talk about various world leaders that he knew or had some opinion of. Abortion is just kind of like a thing he wants to hand wave. Just get out of my face, you know. So I'm not surprised that he doesn't go that far with it. But I do want to also mention, because this is something that just drives me insane, where Trump says that Democrats, that these radical, I'm almost going to start calling Democrats that just for fun now. The radical Democrats support abortion up and even beyond the 9th month. There is not a single elected Democrat in the entirety of the United States that supports abortion after birth, after the 9th month. And what drives me crazy, because they do the same thing with the free college stuff, right? Where it's like, hey, people want free college so they can, not go into debt when they try to get this piece of paper that everyone says they should work for to have a better life. Oh, you want truckers to pay for some person studying gender studies? No, not really. I mean, just the way that the framing of it, right? The same thing here. You can go and look up statistics that show that a majority of abortions do not occur in the 9th month. But they have to frame it as, oh yeah, the Democrats, they don't think there should be any restrictions. They believe you should be able to just be pregnant for from January to September and then get rid of it. It's like, no. And again, he can't show us where any Democrat has stated their support for that. I think Democrats have actually, and I'm glad that they bring up, I do believe Roe v. Wade being overturned will continue to backfire on Republicans, but I think the Democrats, to their credit, have been pretty consistent on this issue. They support Roe v. Wade. They support each state allowing a woman to have an abortion, and it's really the Republicans that seem to be all over the place. Where you even have some who think you should have to have a kid by someone that forces themselves on you. It's really crazy. Not all of the Republicans believe it. Just we've seen some that have taken that extreme position. So they have no just strict messaging on this, and I think it's going to continue to hurt them in subsequent elections.